The race for president enters its final stretch with just 2 weeks until Election Day.
A huge fire causes problems in parts of North Texas. We have the latest.
The fall season is underway for the UNT softball team. We'll tell you about some of the new faces and the new positions.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV News at Noon.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining ntTV News at Noon. I'm Landry Brady.
And I'm Kayla Bumpus. Kamala Harris and Donald Trump are making their final pitches to undecided voters. With just 2 weeks left until Election Day, the Democratic nominee got some help as she tries to win over moderates in key swing states. CNN's Julia Benbrook has the latest from the campaign trail.
An unlikely duo on the campaign trail. Vice President Kamala Harris, the Democratic nominee for president, and former Representative Liz Cheney, who not that long ago was one of the top Republicans in the House of Representatives. The pair traveling to suburban counties in key swing states Monday. Cheney, a staunch conservative, voted to impeach Donald Trump, was primaried and ousted. She's a part of a growing group of Republicans who have said they believe the former president is a threat to democracy.
You have to choose in this race between someone who has been faithful to the Constitution, who will be faithful, and Donald Trump.
The Harris campaign views these appearances as a way to reach undecided and persuadable voters. Just last week, Harris rallied alongside more than 100 Republicans who have backed her candidacy.
No matter your party, no matter who you voted for last time, there is a place for you in this campaign.
Part of the group she's trying to reach, those who supported former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley in the Republican primary. Despite her blistering criticism of Trump, Haley endorsed him after dropping out of the race and spoke in support of his candidacy at the Republican National Convention.
She's supported me, and we had a great primary. It was an unbelievable primary. It was the fastest anyone's ever gone.
Reporting in Washington, I'm Julia Benbrook.
Day 2 of early voting is underway in Texas. If you'd like to cast your ballot before Election Day, you have until Friday, November 1st. In Denton County, polling locations are open 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday and 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Sunday. Here on campus, you can vote at the UNT Gateway Center. Other nearby polling locations include North Branch Library, North Lake Recreation Center, Hubbard Hall at Texas Women's University, and Denton County Southwest Courthouse. To find a polling location near you, check where you registered online.
The Lone Star State is about to get an unexpected visit from one of the presidential candidates.
Our reporter Chloe Marshall is here in studio with the details. Chloe?
Thanks, guys. We just learned today that Vice President Kamala Harris is making a stop in Texas. She is scheduled to travel to Houston for a campaign rally this Friday. It will be her first stop in Texas since she officially secured the Democratic nomination. Harris is expected to campaign with Colin Allred, who is trying to beat Ted Cruz in a race for Senate. Both candidates are expected to talk a lot about abortion, which is one of the biggest issues in this campaign. Well, that's all I have for you guys. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Chloe. One of the top issues in this election is the war in Gaza. And today, the Biden administration is taking new steps to push for a ceasefire. Secretary of State Tony Blinken arrived in Israel earlier today. It is his first visit here since the leader of Hamas was killed last week. Blinken is hoping that the death will lead to new talks to end the war. Israel has indicated it is not ready to stop fighting in Gaza. The State Department says Blinken also wants to convince Israel to find a diplomatic solution to stop the fighting in Lebanon.
Kayla, it felt a little warmer than last week this morning.
It definitely did. I'm just hoping that this fall weather will stick around a little bit. Let's take it to our weather anchor, Mauricio Ortiz-Segura, to tell us more. Mauricio.
That's right, guys. It did feel a little warmer because it is. Here we can see it's 82 degrees out and it feels like 85, and as you can tell, the sun is fully out, so that's only going to add to that added feeling of being a little hotter than last week where it was a little chillier. 12-mile-per-hour wind speed will help to maybe cool you down just a little bit, but as we go on to tonight's conditions, as you can see, 81 degrees and 83 is what it'll feel like. So it's not going to get too cool later tonight, but of course, 7-mile-per-hour wind speed does mean that if you want to go out for a nice brisk walk, you totally can. Now, as we go on to tomorrow's conditions, 71 degrees, 71 feels like, and 7-mile-per-hour wind speed. 777, isn't that fun? Well, that's all I got for you guys on tomorrow's forecast. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Mauricio. A huge fire that broke out in Dallas overnight caused problems for thousands of people. 6 buildings were damaged near a commercial business complex close to Love Field Airport. Firefighters found several wooden pallets burning when they arrived. It took more than 60 firefighters to put out the flames. The fire knocked out power for more than thousands of people that lived in the area. Thankfully, no injuries were reported. Investigators do not know yet what caused the fire.
If you have frozen waffles in your home, you'll want to check your freezer. Some products are being recalled because they could be contaminated. The waffles produced by Treehouse Foods could have listeria, which can be deadly. These products were sold under various brand names across the U.S. So far, there are no confirmed reports of people getting sick because of these products. But if you have frozen waffles that have been recalled, you should throw them away or return them to the store for credit.
Coming up, new numbers show the effects abortion bans are having on women and babies. We've got the details.
And we'll show you how the race for president is taking a sweet turn in some of the most important states in the election.
To open a free checking or savings account but don't know where to start? Check out DebtQ Credit Union right here on campus. Get your Mean Green debit card instantly or apply for a DebtQ Visa credit card today. Your school, your card. Plus, make deposits at their 24/7 ATM, checks or cash whenever you need it. Make sure to sign up for DebtQ's online banking platform and mobile app for easy access anytime, anywhere. Visit them at www.debtq.org to learn more. DebtQ, the official financial institution of UNT Athletics.
The do's and don'ts of the Pole Rec Center. See that man over there? Please do not hog weights. Instead, do this. Another important part is having an attentive spotter. See, here is an example of a non-attentive spotter. Instead, do this. Now we head to the track, which should be pretty easy, just it's important to pay attention to the way the track goes. Remember to wipe down the equipment after you're done using it. The towels are provided by the gym, so it's pretty easy to wipe down the equipment when you are done. Thank you for using the Pole Recreation Center.
Reproductive rights are one of the top issues in this election, and new numbers show just how big of an impact abortion bans are having on the U.S. A study says that an infant death rate went up in the month after the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. 80% of those deaths were caused by birth defects. Experts say abortion bans can restrict access to health care, which can lead to increased risks for both babies and mothers. Texas is one of the 13 states where abortion is banned in most cases. That law went into effect 2 years ago.
And with reproductive rights being such a big issue in the presidential campaign, the Biden administration is proposing a major expansion of birth control access. This would give easier access to over-the-counter contraception such as Plan B, spermicide, and O-pill under the Affordable Care Act. Right now, most private health care plans cover the cost of contraception, but they often require a prescription. This new rule would eliminate the need for a prescription. The White House says the proposed rule would affect about 52 women nationwide.
When it comes to counting votes in this election, not all of them are going in the ballot box. A bakery in a crucial battleground state has brought back a tasty tradition for the 2024 election. The Oakmont Bakery near Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania is selling cookies with the faces of Donald Trump and Kamala Harris on them. CNN's Ricky Sayer has the story.
Okay, where's it at? Oh my gosh!
There are all sorts of cookies at Oakmont Bakery.
We need another cookie.
The Girding family has the choice of everything from chocolate chip to cherry chewbilly. They even have
the controversial cookie.
Yeah. The sort that only appears every 4 years.
Okay, so here we have the Trump cookies, and then over here we have the Harris cookies, and then just to sort of keep it fun and light and loose, we have a third party this year, which is just the Punchkis.
You know, for those who might not be a fan of either Trump or Harris.
We call it the sweetest candidate.
I think a lot of people are getting the candidate they're supporting, but then there's some people that are just like, oh, I'm going to get this candidate just so I could, chomp into them, whatever.
That would not describe the Girdings.
I think it's me.
She bought a few Trump cookies.
And I wanted to get my mom one because she's 87 years old and she loves Trump.
I think we might not eat them.
We might save them just in case. We might cherish them for a while. No.
We didn't find anyone buying Harris cookies in our short time at the bakery.
Anything else tonight?
But that doesn't mean they aren't being purchased.
We actually just ran our numbers today. Donald Trump's leading at 21,000 cookies, individual cookies. Kamala Harris is at 6,200, and the sweetest candidate, it's about 9,800.
Oh, yep, there you go. Hope that's a good sign, right?
Of course, the cookies can't predict the election.
Now, just how reliable are these bite-sized ballots? Well, the bakery's cookie tally got the result of the election wrong in 2020. Donald Trump won the cookie count, but Joe Biden won the state of Pennsylvania and the election.
Landry, Halloween is just over a week away. Surely it's got to cool down by then.
I hope so. Our weather anchor Mauricio Ortiz-Seguera is back to show us what to expect later this week.
Man, I'm also hoping for those cooler temperatures come Halloween because, I'm just ready for some fall temperatures. But why don't we take a look at the full weather report? Let's take a look here. What do we got? We got low 80s. Low 80s almost across the board. Look at that. 80 in Decatur, 82 in Denton, 81 up here in Paris, even 81 all the way in Bowie. The only one breaking the mold over here is 79 in Stephenville. So let's see if across the state, if we're doing anything else different. No, not really. We got 82 in Denton, 80 in Abilene, 79 in Oklahoma City, and it seems like the lowest we're getting right now is 77 in Houston and 77 all the way over here in El Paso. But why don't we take a look at what we can expect this next upcoming week? Well, we've got tomorrow, it's going to be nice and warm. 92 degrees with a low of 66, as well as Thursday is also going to stay in the 90s with a low of 64. And of course, as we go past that, we're going to get into the 80s. We're going to stay in the high 80s, then dip a little closer to the mid 80s, but it's of course, going to stay pretty solid and warm, and it's going to be pretty cool at night as well. As you can tell, it's going to be pretty sunny all throughout the week, all the way up to next Tuesday. So if you're going to go outside, make sure you're wearing sunblock, wear a hat, just protect yourself from the sun so that you don't burn that nice body of yours, okay? That's all I got for you. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Mauricio. As the temperatures begin to decline, the number of sick people is expected to rise. That's why doctors recommend you get yourself and your children vaccinated as soon as you can. But some parents are choosing to not vaccinate their children from some very preventable diseases. Our reporter Cynthia Mendoza is here with more on the sudden decline in vaccination rates.
That's right, Landry. A new CDC report found that fewer and fewer kindergarteners are getting their routine vaccination, despite outbreaks of infectious and preventable diseases like measles and whooping cough. CNN reporter Mandy Gaither explains the potential nationwide implications of this decline.
It's an alarming trend. During the 2023-24 school year, national kindergarten coverage with state-required vaccinations dropped to 93%, down from 95% between the 2019-2020 school year before the COVID-19 pandemic.
It's enlightening and not surprising with what we've been through in the last 4 years.
Dr. Jason Newland with Nationwide Children's Hospital says many infectious and preventable diseases aren't as prevalent anymore thanks to routine vaccines, but some are making a comeback. For example, this year alone, a total of 269 measles cases have been reported in more than 30 U.S. states as of October 17th. The CDC says 88% of those patients were either unvaccinated or their vaccination status is unknown.
Measles can be extremely dangerous, leading to life-threatening illnesses.
The CDC says vaccination is also the best defense against pertussis, but preliminary data shows more than 5 times as many cases have been reported at this time of year when compared to the same time last year.
Maintaining our vaccine rates, whether it's measles, whether it's pertussis, whether it's influenza, whether it's COVID, will make our society and our most vulnerable healthy and our future healthy.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
To get more information on how you can get vaccinated, contact your doctor or local pharmacy. That's all I have. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Cynthia. It's hard to believe Christmas is already coming so soon. If you're dreading the holiday shopping season, we'll explain why there is some hope for you.
And we'll give you an inside look at a Hispanic art fest in Denton to see what it had to offer for the community.
Craving something fresh, flavorful, and made just for you? Look no further than Avesta, your go-to destination for a delicious, full-service dining experience. Dive into our customizable omelets, expertly crafted by our talented cook Jonathan, who guarantees every bite is perfection. All our dishes are handmade, prepared with only the freshest ingredients. Explore our assembly line where you can choose from any of our globally inspired dishes, or customize your plate. It's that easy. And let's not forget dessert. Indulge your sweet tooth with treats from Clark Bakery. With convenient payment methods including card or flex, it's the perfect dining spot for any occasion. Quench your thirst with our wide selection of drinks. Just hand your drinking card to our friendly waiter, and they'll bring your beverage of choice right to your table. When you're done savoring every last bite, our attentive staff will whisk away your tray. Enjoy the peaceful ambiance as you dine in, or use our takeout option for a meal on the go. Avesta.
Now that fall is in season, there's more time to get out, walk around, and support your local organizations and vendors. If you're a big fan of art, there's one organization you should check out. Our segment reporter Adriana Rivera is here with more.
Thank you, Kayla. That's right. The SEMA organization is run by 2 UNT alumni who didn't feel welcome in the art community and decided to take matters into their own hands. ntTV's Jose Moreno walks us through the story and creation of SEMA.
In 2022, 2 UNT grads, Heidi Vasquez and Juanita Jimenez, annoyed by the lack of representation and the gatekeeping in the DFW art community, came together to produce an art show dedicated to Latino artists and creatives.
I grew up going to art shows in DFW and it didn't feel welcoming.
We wanted to find ourselves in the creative field, so we decided to make our own way and we ended up making SEMA.
But creating an organization like SEMA was way easier said than done. And whilst both had experience with hosting art shows, taking that next step and starting up an organization like SEMA took a lot of work. From planning shows, marketing themselves, hiring volunteers, getting to that level took time because SEMA, like Rome, couldn't be built in a day.
I guess the most challenging thing was trying to figure it out because we didn't know how to set up a nonprofit. We didn't know what we were actually doing. We just know that people liked it.
And people sure like it. SEMA has grown from a small art show to hosting a full-on city-funded carnival earlier last month in Oak Cliff. But what matters most to these girls is the impact that their organization has had on their community.
People started their own organizations because they came. And from there, we figured that the more immersiveness you create within the space, people are likely to stay, remember, and document.
If you want to check out SEMA, they'll be having a pop-up event at Revelers Hall for their November 2nd Day of the Dead block party. And then later that same day, they'll be having another pop-up event at the Oak Cliff Assembly Line. I'm Jose Moreno with ntTV News, signing out.
The story of SEMA is very inspirational for many other artists in the Latinx community, so be sure to go around and support local artists. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Adriana. Although it's not even Halloween yet, some shoppers are already thinking about Christmas and ways to save money this holiday season. Target is trying to help out by cutting prices on more than 2,000 of its items. The retail giant says things like food, home goods, beauty products, and toys will be cheaper through December. This is the second time that Target has cut prices to try and ease the burden of inflation. The first round of price cuts happened in May, which led to more shoppers coming into Target stores.
Did you happen to watch the Mean Green football game this weekend?
No, I actually didn't, but I heard it was very exciting. I'm sure our sports anchor, Christian Bursuch, can tell us about it. Christian?
Thanks, guys. The Dallas Cowboys had no game this week, but the UNT football team did more than enough to keep us entertained across North Texas. We'll talk about Mean Green football as well as check in with our UNT softball team as they begin fall ball after the break.
Hey Alex, this guy on the internet says he wants to give me money.
That sounds suspicious.
What do you mean?
Typically, strangers who promise you money on the internet have their own best interest in mind. They often use bounced checks, which will disappear shortly after depositing, but not before they've asked for some money in return.
So he doesn't really want to spoil me?
No.
Well, then what should I do?
The best way to handle it is to block and report the suspicious message, or even consult local law enforcement if you've already fallen victim.
So I guess we aren't going to Key West for spring break.
No.
There's no harm in wanting to have fun while in college, but it's easy to lose track of how much you've had. Apps like Drink Control and Alkadroid can help keep track of your consumption and blood alcohol levels. If you or someone else does drink too much, the signs of alcohol poisoning are as follows: pale skin, vomiting, confusion, low body temperatures, irregular breathing, blacking out, and it's hard to wake up or cannot be woken up.
Dude, are you okay? Hey, what's wrong? Wake up.
It's an exciting time of year, but it's important to be responsible. If you suspect someone is suffering from alcohol poisoning, get help immediately. You will not get in trouble for seeking help if you are underage. For more info and resources, go to UNT's Division of Student Affairs.
Mean Green football played a shootout in Memphis on Saturday, with 96 total points being scored in the game. Neither team could be stopped offensively, but the clock was not in favor of UNT, allowing Memphis to narrowly escape with a 52-44 victory to hand UNT our first conference loss of the season. The Mean Green will look to bounce back when they host Tulane on Saturday. After a great first year in the American Conference, UNT softball is looking to get even better. The fall ball season is a great time for softball players to improve their game before the spring, and it gives coaches a chance to try out players in positions that they haven't played before. I was able to watch Mean Green softball take on Murray State College last Tuesday. After the game, Coach DeLong told me about their plans to improve, while also highlighting the new additions who have impressed him so far.
Fall ball is here, and Mean Green softball is off to a hot start. I caught their game last week against Murray State College here in Denton. After the game, I was able to talk to Coach DeLong and ask them what they're specifically working on improving this fall ball season.
You know, we need to improve our offense. The last couple of years, we've been good defensively. We've been good in the circle ever since I've been here. We've got a really good pitching staff this year, so really just run production is what we're after, and we've got a good group. I feel like we got a good offensive group, and that was kind of our focus in the transfer portal, and we brought in 3 good hitters that are going to help us.
I also asked Coach DeLong about the new players on the roster and who he's been most impressed by so far.
You know, Oshamore's one that's really talented. Kalen Bearpaw's a good one. Riley McNeemer's a good new face. That's you know I have high expectation for. Annika Anderson, another kid that came over from Tulsa that's talented, good pitcher, good hitter. He's got a chance. So those are some of the highlights there.
Coach DeLong spoke highly of Auburn transfer Riley McNeamer, so I decided to ask her myself how she liked North Texas so far.
It's been great. I love the coaching staff, love the girls. I already have a pretty good bond with just about every single one of them. It's definitely not what I'm used to, but I really enjoy it.
McNeamer played 3 years at Auburn University, playing multiple positions within the infield. I decided to ask her what made her come to UNT in the transfer portal.
Yeah, so the coaching staff was very consistent when they were coming for me in the transfer portal. I went on other visits, but they would continuously call me, and they showed interest throughout the whole time that I was in the portal. So when I came down here, I just knew it was the place for me.
You can see Riley McNeamer and Mean Green softball tomorrow night as they take on Texas Women's University at Lovelace Stadium. I decided to ask Coach DeLong if there was any different preparations that went into a game against crosstown rival Texas Women's University.
Crosstown? No, not really. I mean, they're, it's been a good D2 program for a long time. We really don't see them much, and just more of a friendly competition, I think, than anything.
Whether there's a rivalry or not, I'm sure it'll be an exciting game. For the full UNT softball schedule, go to meangreensports.com. From North Texas Television, I'm Christian Bursuch.
Mean Green softball hopes you'll come support them this fall as they prepare for the spring season. That's all from me. Back to the desk.
Thanks, Christian. Chick-fil-A is venturing into new territory by coming out with something new that won't be on the menu. Chick-fil-A is starting a new entertainment app called Chick-fil-A Play that was designed to be the ultimate digital playground experience for children and adults alike. The app is said to include original animated shows, games, podcasts, crafts, and even ebooks to entertain your young ones while waiting in the drive-thru. The app will be available for download November 18th on all Apple and Android devices.
Every time that I go to the Chick-fil-A here on campus, I always have to wait in a long line. So maybe I'll get the app and it'll help me not have to wait so long.
That really might help the time fly. I think that it's a great idea.
Thank you for watching ntTV News at noon.
Join us again tonight at 6 and tomorrow at noon here on North Texas Television.